Okay, this video is going to address how to go about transferring a student from one school to another. The important thing to remember here is that schools in Marshall Management are considered to be independent entities, and each school has its own set of classes, its own ranking and promotion system, and so forth. But every once in a while you want to transfer a student to a new school. Maybe that school has a similar structure, and you want to carry carry the history, the hours, and the number of classes and so forth with them, even though you won't necessarily be able to carry the activities and that type of stuff, because a lot of that is, or actually all of that is dependent on the school. It's exclusive to the school. So what we do whenever we transfer a student from one school to another school is we take the class record of that existing school and we create new classes with the title of class transfer up under the new school, and then assign that one student to that class. That way that particular student has still got their history of class attendance, but now they have the history over in the new school. Let me show you a little bit about how that works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my reports, and I'm going to pull up a student history and say we'll pick Roger Liebman, and I want to take a look at Roger Liebman's records, right? And in the system now he currently has 173 classes, 479 and a half hours. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer Roger Liebman from school 101 over to school 102. So what we'll do is we'll come down here to transfer student, and we'll see that we default to our existing default school of 101, and we see the list of students in school number 101. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick Roger Liebman's name, and we're going to transfer him to school 102. Now when you transfer, and again this is the instructions, and what happens appears right here, so you can kind of read through what happens with that. But as it says, group associations will be dropped, student will maintain the same role, messages will remain, journal entries will remain, and class history information will be transferred in a specific way, which is the system of transferring over to creating new classes in the school, calling it a transfer, and then assigning that student to that particular class. So anyway, let's go ahead and hit the transfer. So we will do a transfer, and we will transfer Roger Liebman over to school number 102. All right, so now let's go take a look at the user list for school 102. We'll select school 102, and we will see that Roger Liebman is now in school 102. You'll notice that he no longer has any rank. I believe in the old system he had rank, but he doesn't have rank here because, again, the belt system does not transfer school to school. Each school has its own belt system because each school could potentially represent different arts. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go over and take a look at that same report. Go to student history, and now we will see Roger Liebman in school 102, and we will pull up his history, and you see that he continues to maintain his class credit and his hourly credit, and then all of his hours go up under a class called transfer. And there is no activity record because activities and categories are exclusive to any given school. What you'll have to do then is you'll have to go back in. If Roger is attending this new school and the ranking system is the same, then you just have to go back in and re-enter the promotions. You can refer to the video on the promotions to see how to go about doing that. But that's essentially how you transfer a student from one school over to another. Again, be sure to read the page on the transfer to see how everything transfers over. And that will give you the explanation that you'll need to understand kind of how that happens. But anyway, that's how you go about transferring students from one school to another in Marshall Management.